I really enjoyed Little Orphan Millie. I will say it took me longer than it should have done to realise that Millie was referring to Millhouse. This is the sixth episode of the 19th season of The Simpsons, directed by Lance Kramer, and Millhouse's parents become lost at sea. And there's a nice beginning where Millhouse is very happy, his parents are getting back together, this is all fantastic, and then things obviously take a very tragic turn, and because he is depressed, he becomes the coolest kid in school. And we have some great quotes from Millhouse, which I'll share with a spoiler warning in a moment. Bart is struggling, really struggling to deal with this, because no longer is he the coolest kid in school, and Millhouse is getting all of the attention. And not only is Bart upset he's not getting the attention, but Millhouse is also spending less time with him, which is something else that's quite difficult for Bart to deal with. So there's quite a lot going on there. We also have a subplot with Homer trying to guess the colour of Marge's eyes, which is quite interesting because the characters tend to just have black dots for eyes. But I rather found that to be definitely padding, but it was all worth it because of the song Homer sings. And I loved it and I thought it was brilliant. So that part of the narrative, I thought, for the most part, it didn't feel like it was that necessary or even that interesting. But because we eventually got to the song, I'm quite happy with it. So a few spoiler thoughts from now. Some are bigger spoilers than others, but they might spoil some things. First of all, I loved it when we had product placements for Ocean Spray and Captain Crunch and a whole bunch of other things. I just thought it was really fun to see those products animated kind of in Simpsons style. It was slightly different, but it amused me a lot. We also have Bart acknowledging something that I actually thought of not a tremendous amount of time ago. In fact, I thought of this in the episode where it's the episode where Marge and Homer first meet and the story of how that happened. And I started thinking about the characters who had blue hair in The Simpsons. And Luann and Kirk have blue hair. And I thought, okay, did they just, decide to be with each other because they have the same hair? And then in this episode, Bart does actually point out that they look a lot alike. So I'm glad that that's just not my thought. Maybe somebody mentioned it and the show thought they'd address it, which happens quite a lot. So there are two quotes from Millhouse that I love. And one of them he says to Nelson. In fact, they're both to Nelson. But one is, "One day you'll be more haunted by those words than I am." Which I thought was pretty true. Basically implying that the guilt the bully will feel is far worse than the pain his words could ever inflict on Millhouse. And the other one is, "Go ahead, beat me up, maybe then I'll feel something," which I just thought was so moving and so powerful. And very easy to see why Millhouse very quickly became the coolest kid in school. And when he was puffing inhaler rings, it was so well done. Such a very well written and well animated episode. I really enjoyed it. And when we got to see the colour in Marge's eyes, that was pretty cool as well. So I really thoroughly enjoyed this. In fact, it's probably, for me, one of the strongest episodes in quite a while. 6.6 out of 10 on IMDb, across 1.4 thousand reviews and ratings. It's not a great review, a great overall rating for The Simpsons. I certainly rate it a lot higher. It's one that I really thoroughly enjoyed. I'd be very happy to watch it again. I will at some point, I'm sure. And hopefully the rest of season 19 is even a little bit close to the quality of this one. If it is, we're going to be in for a treat.